Well, everybody's here and it's time to go. Elvis, the map says that your exit is just outside of the city, although you're going to have to go through some narrow crevices. However, you don't get very far before Madame McGoffel realizes you're leaving, and she says, "Where are we going?"
Oh, well, we're gonna go over to these holes in the rock and then up, mostly.
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the guard in charge. Where are we going?
You see, madam, this is a top-secret mission from Aloria. I actually wasn't supposed to bring you, so this is kind of a need-to-know basis.
I am beginning to realize that I'm traveling with you with no knowledge of why I'm doing it, and with none of my usual guards.
Well, that is why we tried to leave you in the house, Your Greatness.
Don't you take that tone with me. I am your superior.
Well, all the same, I would advise that you return to the safe house.
Why is the human reading the maps? What do we need the cat people for?
It would be a violation of confidence for me to go into detail about the mission.
I have the skill to yank out your guts and wrap them around your throat, then hang you with them. So tell me what I want to know before I get cross.
Not to make matters worse, but I just want to point out you could pull out his intestines and just leave them out. He'd die slower and more painfully. It's probably a better punishment. Thank you, Lowry. All right, you have to... okay, we are on a revenge mission. We're going to get back... Yes, Aloria was attacked, and that cannot stand. She's looked the other way and been diplomatic, but we are going to kill the people responsible for the attack on Aloria's life.
She looks at Lowry, and she goes, "That's the one that attacked her!"
We have reason to believe that he was put up to it. No, I did it willfully. I thought it would work out better. I can't recall why I thought it would work out better. He's here for reasons related to Namir, so we're going to find out why Aloria was attacked and what Namir's motives are, and then we're going to get revenge.
Oh, well, heck, I don't need to be here for that.
Your Greatness is welcome to return back to the safe house.
But why the cat people, though? Why are they coming?
Because Namir wants them, and if they're removed from the city, then he can't get them.
But you're going to Namir.
Yes.
And why does Namir want them? He gave them to Aloria.
Well, he wants them back. He's reneging on his deal with Aloria, and so we're going to give them back, but with daggers in hands.
You know, sometimes you spy people really frustrate me. I have been trained. I know exactly how the spy situation works. You're just creating a bunch of stupid, contradictory information to confuse me and make it impossible for me to know what's happening.
I can neither confirm nor deny that allegation.
Well, confirm this. I'm coming with you. It's a long walk back to the safe house, and I don't want to go back alone. So, forge ahead.
Lady, you're going to spend like 30 minutes with me and wish you'd gone home.
Shut up, you. Don't tell me what to think.
Well, as Her Greatness desires, so it shall be. Elvis, carry on. One foot in front of the other.
Well, Madame McGoffel's not going back, so on you guys go together as a group. She mutters occasionally about the dangers. Gonna be eaten by grooves. Shouldn't be this far out of the city. But you get to the crags and start climbing upward. Elvis, it's very difficult to read this map and be sure that you're going in the right direction. The map makers filled it out as well as they could, but occasionally you come to passages that aren't marked on it, and you're not sure if that's your fault or their fault. There's a lot of climbing, and you guys aren't equipped for it. Your hands get scraped up, you're bumped and bruised. Elvis, you can't even really see very well in this low light, which makes it especially bad that you're the one holding the map. You have to take frequent breaks. You stop as soon as you find a suitable place for lunch because you might not find another good place. Then, at some point hours after climbing and shimmying, you squeeze between a crevice and find yourself in an underground lake. And Elvis, that's not marked on the map according to how you were reading it. You have no idea where you are at the moment. The water comes up to about your waist, and in some places up to your chest.
Dang. Man. What, are we on the right path? I might have gotten turned around a little bit. This is too cold. I want to go somewhere warm.
Okay, just a note. It was kind of vaguely explained to me why we have the cat people, although I don't believe your reasons. Why do we have the lizard person?
You know, everybody asks that. It's an excellent question. I keep asking that. And it actually has a series of very excellent explanations which make me mad for how much sense they make. Nobody wants me here, me least of all. I shouldn't be here. Could I get some light? I'm trying to read the map.
And why is the blind surface dweller reading the map?
Well, I'm not blind. I just need light to see.
How is that different from blind? That's like saying I'm not a fish. I just need water to breathe.
You guys have fish down here? You have fish and trees.
Yes, we have fish. You look around, there's actually little fish in the pond that you're in.
Do you have farming? What kind of crops do you farm?
Deep wheat.
Is that what the bread is made of?
Unless it was made of deep barley, I don't know what bread.
They didn't tell me the name. I should have asked.
So those who can see in the dark, off in the distance you see a little wooden hut.
Well, let's go over there. We can ask for directions.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Why? They might know where we are.
On the surface, do you just walk up to random houses? You don't know what built that house. It could be a parasanth.
Is that bad?
It's probably like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You can't just go into people's house and eat their porridge.
I'm not gonna eat their deep porridge. I'm gonna knock on the door.
It might not even be a real house for all you know. It could be a creature disguised as a house.
What would cause an animal to evolve to resemble a house?
Years of predation on house-living creatures.
Okay. I guess you got me there.
Yeah, if a new house ever springs up in your neighborhood overnight, you need to be extra cautious and make sure your kids don't go near it.
You guys are so alike to us and yet so different.
This just further illustrates why houses are a bad idea. Animals are evolving to look like houses to eat people.
Are we sure that the house is actually an animal?
No, but you won't know until you go up and knock on it and a giant tongue comes out and grabs you. They're like frogs. Aren't you supposed to be a guard? This is insane. This is like not knowing what a hoop digger is.
Look, madam, I know what a hoop digger is, as well as the next guard. I'm just saying, maybe that house isn't alive. It could just be a house.
How well do you know your parasynths? I hear you can tell by the markings.
Well, okay, actually, I know why we have the lizard person. Lowry, go up to that house, knock on the door, and make sure you tell it it's not a magical man-eating house.
A house that eats people obviously isn't magic, Paul. It's got organs and stuff. That's not magical.
Does a genie have organs?
Genies aren't real.
But if I saw one, is that how taxon? Is that how you can tell a magical creature from a non-magical one?
Arguably, yes. If they have no way to consume food and disperse energy, then they would be magical.
Are there hybrid magical and non-magical creatures?
Lowry, go knock on the door!
Okay, fine. You don't have to yell.
All right, do you guys stay behind Lowry, or do you keep at a distance and let him fend for himself?
We'll do like a ding-dong ditch sort of thing. We'll all hide behind some rocks and then give Lowry the thumbs up, but don't come out.
Well, all right. I guess I walk up and I knock on the door.
Well, a tall humanoid creature answers. He's wearing overalls and a straw hat. He's got a face like a cuttlefish. And he goes, "Hello?"
Hi, my name is Lowry, and were you aware that housing is kind of an abomination? You live in a cave already. What is the point?
Well, it keeps the heat in. What can I do you for, stranger?
Again, it is a deep cave. There can barely be any climate differences.
A smaller, fatter cuttlefish guy comes to the door. He goes, "Who is it, Jethro?" "Oh, well, it's a lizard guy. He's here preaching."
It's not preaching so much as like proselytizing.
Now that sounds like something that should be kept between a man and his wife.
I also have a lot of quibbles with the institution of marriage.
The tall one goes, "So what do you want exactly?" And the fat one goes, "Well, I know what he needs, Jethro. He wants food, right? You're hungry."
Are you guys even listening to me? I'm criticizing your house.
"Well, I heard you, stranger. How about this? Why don't you come inside for dinner and we can talk about it?"
Let me guess. I'm the dinner.
They exchange glances with each other.
Like I come inside and you guys eat me for dinner?
Hey, Jethro, he's on to us. Get the boomstick. The tall one reaches over and he grabs a long, gnarled stick with kind of a knob at the end. He puts the knob against his shoulder, points it at you, and then, boom! You're hit with a sonic blast. You're going to take 10 damage from that, but after armor, it's a minimum of 3.
Oh my god. You should have told me you had magic. I would have told you you didn't have magic.
He's still standing, Jethro! Shoot him again! And you guys would be in combat right now, but come to think about it, Madame McGoffel jumps out from behind the rock. She outstretches her hands, and the guy, he goes, wait a second. And then, boom, he explodes into spiders.
Oh, okay. I'm covered in guts. I would have liked to tell you couldn't do that.
The other guy goes, oh my god, I'm so sorry. We'll move out of the house, I swear. And then he explodes into spiders too.
Ugh, great. Okay, wipe myself off, pick up the boomstick, break it.
Well, I can see why I was included in this special operation, but I don't get why the lizard guy is here yet.
Are you kidding? He already doesn't listen, and now he can't hear. It's perfect.
What?
So inside the shack, you guys find a little bit of food. They've got some fish, they've got some dried meats, a little bit of vegetables and some fruits and stuff. That's enough to forage on for a little while, so actually this turned out not too bad. Elvis, you can get a light, and while you guys are resting, you figure out, here's the lake. This has actually been found, but that means you're off track a little ways. You're going to have to go over this different route. However, according to your book of maps, all of these pathways appear to be from older surveys. In fact, the last leg of the way up is so old they have a "Here Be Dragons" written in the side. It's thought that dragons have largely gone extinct by this point, so The dating is pretty unclear, and some of this looks like it might be a couple 100 years ago.
Okay, so, guys, we could backtrack a little bit, or we could follow this really old trail all the way up, and there's no way of knowing if everything that's on the map is still there.
Well, there's no point in doing something risky. It seems like we ought to backtrack. Does that mean we have to walk even further? Yes, Lowry, it means we have to go back the way we came and then find our path again.
Elvis, as a note, it looks like this older path should be easier to follow. If you just go along this lake, it's actually kind of a big, long, upward, sort of a river for a while. This is where the water ends, but going up, you can't really get off track in the same way you could with all the twists and turns in the caverns.
Well, we don't know this is all still here, but if it is, it's going to be more reliable than going back the way we came.
Well, I don't know, Elvis. You're the map expert.
Well, it might be valuable for everyone. We have these maps, but if we update them, then they're updated for us on the surface, but not for the people down below.
Why wouldn't they be updated for the people down below?
Oh, right, because, we'd have to get them back down below first, and, if we know that this is an easier pathway, then it would be easier to get back down. But for starters, the people on the top would be...
Okay, fine, I get it.
Do you, though?
Yes, I understand. Special operations is all about obfuscating facts and the reality of what's going on.
Well, point is, we could just go this way, we'll see what's still there, and then I can mark it down on the map. And if we're wrong, we could always come back here, maybe, live off the fish for a little bit, and then backtrack the way we came.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess we shouldn't, arrive empty-handed.
So, Paul, while you guys are eating, you notice that your mom and your dad are staying in opposite ends of the house and trying to avoid eye contact.
Okay, go over to my dad. Hey, Dad, are you and Mom, okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, it doesn't seem okay.
I said we're fine, we're
All
fine.
All right, don't let me push you. It seems like you're not talking.
We have nothing to talk about. I keep thinking about, what do I say to her? I've been doing sexcapades in the castle, and she's been doing hard work. Would it be like, oh, how's your job been? I don't want her to ask the same thing back to me.
Well, you could maybe, tell her that you've met your son?
Allegedly, I've met my son.
Allegedly, yeah, but I'm a little strapped, I can't do, the big reveal and blow my cover right now.
Okay, so I'll just walk up to her and be like, hey, honey, long time no talk or see. I've met our son. He's right over there.
You haven't even tried.
It's stupid.
She's not even tried. Okay, forget it. I'm going to talk to her, and you just think about how you want to interact with her.
I am thinking about it. I got nothing.
Okay, go over to my mom. Excuse me, Rachel?
Yes.
So I notice you're not really on speaking terms with Khan over there.
Yeah, and she rolls her eyes. The breeding pair thing didn't work out.
Yeah, well, that's all kind of in the past now, right?
Is it? Honestly, I don't know why I'm here.
Well, fact is you're being released. Back to the surface.
What, just like that?
Yeah, how else should you be released?
Well, with indentured servitude, there'd normally be a certain gold amount that I'd pay off. I hear I'm worth a lot of gold, though.
Well, you've done it. You've paid it off. You're free to go.
Really? Then why do I have to go back to the surface?
'Cause... What?
I've been down here for 20-some-odd years, and she rubs her face, and she goes, I haven't even seen Khan for the past 10 of those. What am I going back to the surface for? There's nothing there.
Well, you have a son, right?
Yes, I had one. I don't know where he is now or what he's doing.
Well, probably something important.
He's probably doing drugs in an alley.
No, he is not. He's probably he's put together and stuff.
Okay, you know what? Thanks. I get it.
Do you? Though? You want to stay underground?
That's the life I was living. I don't mind the underground. I just would have liked a little more freedom.
I don't. Well, that's what being released from slavery is. Freedom.
I was a high-class slave. I had food. I had shelter. I was in charge of other slaves. Is it perfect? No. But if I go back to the surface, what do I have? Nothing. No money. I'm in poverty. There's no safety net. No food. No shelter. Nothing.
You know what? You guys are impossible. You were just impossible.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I'm not one of the more domesticated slaves.
You guys are difficult to talk to. Hey, Cherry, how are you holding up?
Me? Well, glad to be eating real food again. I could use a good night of sleep. What do you say we camp here for the night?
I don't really know how to define night, but yeah, I guess we could all go to bed.
Great. I had a look, and there's 2 beds. They're stuffed with straw and fur. Can I sleep in one of those?
Yeah, fine. We'll do watches. Elvis will do one. I'll do one. Khan and Rachel, you guys are going to take the last watch, okay?
They look at each other, and Khan goes, Together?
Yeah, together.
Okay. And okay, it's a fairly uneventful sleep. As far as you're aware, Con and Rachel just go to opposite ends of the porch and they don't talk to each other. Once you're all rested up, you head off again. This time following the old path, it heads up and up and up and up until eventually you get to where you need to turn. Luckily, those caverns are still there. Or at least you think these are the caverns. It's still a little bit difficult to tell. You're off by maybe a couple 100 feet in some cases, but this is probably it. You climb and you squeeze through the gaps and you head upward for a series of hours. Finally, you emerge at where the maps show there should be a cave network that'll lead to the outside. But when you get to the exit, you find that there's been a cave-in and it's closed off.
Ah, dang it, no.
You're in a fairly large area. It's downright cavernous. Thinking on it, given how close it is to the surface, if it weren't caved in, they probably would be using it as some kind of storage space. For maybe cheese or wine or something that needs climate control. Would be useful if you got out of here and you could point to where it was, but for now, it's nothing but a hindrance.
You know, there's a possibility there is a greater volume of livable cave on this planet than there is surface area that you can live in. It might be a sign from nature that we're meant to live in caves.
Is there another way out, Elvis? How far back do we have to go?
Well, you thumb through the book, you check your compass, and you make doubly sure, and as far as you can tell after quite a bit of reading, you probably won't be out again until tomorrow at best. It's going to be a long walk the other way.
On the bright side, though, there's multiple ways out, so it's not like they can all be collapsed, right?
Why would you say something like that?
To boost morale.
But now they're all gonna be collapsed, Elvis.
But we haven't seen them yet. We don't know for sure.
'Cause it's bad luck. You've jinxed us. They're all gonna be collapsed.
This pessimism really runs in the family, Paul. I mean, don't say it too loud or your parents are gonna join in with you.
Well, you don't have to be the one to tell everybody. Okay. All right, everybody gather around. We've got news.
And well, before you can tell everyone the terrible news, there's a monstrous groan and a great stirring within the cave. A dark shape moves.